Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful early morning time. Yeah, I woke up. I woke up so early. Yes, today is Monday. Beautiful Monday, early Monday morning, October 18th, 2021. And the time is here of 4, can't see, 4:26 a.m. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I woke up, man, I think it was around 12 something. Yeah, I fell asleep early. And when that happens, um, I get up early too. Yeah, went out with my dogs yesterday. Had a nice time and came home and just pigged out. Yes. Um, yeah, what I want to talk about today? Well, because I had gotten up so early, I went and looked at some videos. Yeah, I was watching some videos on Dave Chappelle. Boy, he was hilarious. I generally don't watch a lot of comedians. I was curious about what the controversy about him was. Um, yeah, he did a show on Netflix, and I listened to some of the content that was on YouTube about him, and they shared some of his jokes. I laughed so hard. You know, yeah, because the times are very intense. And honey, when something is funny to me, um, especially let's say I'm upset about something or depressed or sad, I could laugh real hard. And I think I just needed just uh, just to get out of my system. He was funny. Yeah, he is a funny guy. I remember he came out and then he left comedy. Then for some time. Then he came back. Yeah, he has a gift for humor. And you know what humor really is? It's taking a story, an event, a story, and just putting a spin to it. The irony of something and the contrast of the reality of the situation, whatever what the humor is, that is what makes it really funny. Um, yeah, he got in trouble about the what I call the alphabet soup community, and interesting, his show. What's that? I forget the name of the show. He did a show, and it he actually talked about um, who he considered a friend. He knew a person, a man who changed his gender, but he was a comedian. He was interested in comedy. And it was actually a very beautiful tribute that he did to his friend. Um, it was very interesting. The person um, that he did a tribute to, again, it was someone who he knew, and he knew them as what they call transgender. And Dave had brought him to open a show for him, the Open It Up Act. And even though his portion of the show was not good, after the show, he sat up in the front of to watch Dave Chappelle do his number, and his friend took it in good stride. His transgender friend, and he started to, I guess, um, what do you call it, heckle or something. But he was he was funny as being in the audience, more funny when he was in the audience saying his comments than when he was on stage. But an incident happened down the road. Here was this was someone that he had on stage, to open up his act, and he's a white transgender, and Dave Chappelle had gotten blowback from some comments he said about the alphabet soup community. Well, in specific about transgender people. And so he came to Dave's defense. I think it was a tweet that he did. I think it's really nice, I think it's very nice when people, yes, good morning, viewer, good morning. Yeah, I think it's very good when you do a favor for someone and let's say they're getting in trouble. I mean, he was getting in trouble for a comment, and someone from that community stood up for him. So I commend his friend, you know, to stand up for him. But unfortunate, I think he said like six. He when he stood up for Dave, he gets a actually I can't say verbally, but when on social media, they attacked him on social media. This transgender person, and it was something. And I think Dave Chappelle said 6 days later, the his friend, his transgender friend, commits suicide. He had gone to a roof and jumped off, and this guy um, had a kid. I guess before he transgendered, he had a kid, a young girl, a child. He had the person was young, and I think it's such a tragedy. Um, I thought the show was a beautiful. See, he's a comedian. He told us he said to the audience that he stands by his tribe, and for him, like he's a comedian, and the person that died was a comedian as well. And so certain jokes, certain things is done as a joke. I think a true comedian knows the boundaries. See, I think real humor. See, you don't want to be offensive to people. It's a thin line, and when you stay behind that line, in general, you're safe. So I'm not a member of the alphabet soup community. So many things I cannot speak on their behalf. But humor in general, um, humor is humor, so long you stay behind that line. So I commend Dave Chappelle. You know, he cared for his friend. Collaborated with him, and his friend stood by him. So I commend his friend for standing up for his buddy, comedian buddy, and I guess when you're a comedian, both are comedians, and you could understand certain things. Yeah, I don't have to be a member of a particular group to understand the humor in something. I used to live in Hawaii, and I'm not a native Hawaiian. I'm not Asian, because primarily that's who live in Hawaii. Uh, Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, and Asian. And so it's a blend of cultures there. And you had this guy who was so funny. And um, I think it's a mixed heritage, Hawaiian and Filipino. And he also had a drug problem. And he saw life, I guess when you're exposed to a lot of things, you have more things that you could talk about. And he said a joke based on his ethnicity, his mixed ethnicity, and he talked about the different foods. Now, I was there in Hawaii, I lived in Hawaii long enough to understand the humor. He was hilarious. Could you understand? And so humor is humor, and when you understand a particular, you don't have to be a part of that community. If you're around it, you know it. You don't have to. Uh, like you could speak a language, let's say a foreign language. You don't have to be from that place. You could have studied it, and so you understand the words. You could live amongst people of a particular culture or lifestyle and understand it, and I guess the same with certain humor within the alphabet soup community. I live in New York City, and you see a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So with Dave Chappelle's show, some of the things I understood, which was funny. Um, yeah, wow. You live on the planet. You live on the same planet. You're gonna understand certain things. They want him. What was that? I think they want him removed or something like that. Yeah. I wonder what aspect of his joke they didn't appreciate. Okay, he had a friend of that community that he discussed, and he humanized his friend, and he shared that the friend committed suicide. We could be so hard. It's like this social media could be brutal. I remember, I've been on YouTube now. Uh, oh boy, what year? I think my first video could have been in 2014. I might have had a channel, but I didn't have anything uploaded. And then one day I uploaded a video, and I was very early to the game of YouTube. I didn't understand even what all the layout of the YouTube channel. I didn't know what a thumbs up, thumbs down thing was. I didn't know what the word subscribe was. I didn't know any of that information. I didn't know any of that. And I grew with it. I started learning a little bit more about it. And while I was still early in the show, with my first doing YouTube, I remember I had gotten my first criticism. I don't even remember what I said, what it was about. And I remember doing it in video, oh, I apologize. But actually I didn't really say anything. I really didn't say anything. I think it was just an opinion. It was I don't even remember. It could have been something on religion. Oops. Finger accidentally pressed on something. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't even remember what it was. But I remember, like, it was something mean. And I remember it shook me a little bit. And, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I was very, very timid. Very, very timid. Yeah, I didn't understand this whole thing with social media. Um, yeah, I was in school for a long time, and I really didn't do a lot of, I didn't really go on YouTube that much. Of course, I had a lot of schoolwork. And just on the weekends, when I kind of took a break of schoolwork, watch a little video. But yeah, I remember that. How hostile that some people could be. I wish I could remember exactly what it was. And it's like some people are just, they want to attack people. Their thing is not about exposing a wrong or whatever like that. Some individuals just want to insult people, to be mean spirited. Wow. So here, someone, a member of the alphabet soup, um, to make someone, what could have again, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. What what triggered him? 6 days later, after defending his friend, and to do it, that's such a violent death. It's sad. Um, I think the reason why I'm doing this live stream right now about it, um, see, like humor, I mean, of someone who's really a true comedian, who knows how to stay behind the line. See, it's not humor when it's to offend or hurt. I mean, everybody has their own levels. True. There's always a comfort zone, and the mass bulk of people, just stay behind the line, and in general, you're safe. But people aren't standing behind. Some people aren't standing behind the line, and people getting hurt. Wow, awful. Yeah, it's a. Oh, what was I gonna say now? Oh, I forget what I was gonna say about with this whole thing with transgender. Um, I don't know. See, I could feel for anybody. It's what being human is all about, to be able to empathize with someone when someone's hurt, falls. If you can help them up, you can, help them up. But now it's like people aren't about helping someone get up. People are being lured into kicking people when they're down, hurting people, tripping them. It's like we're losing our sense of humanity. And I think someone, you know, why is it such a big growth in that alphabet soup community? I think some of the alphabet soup is spilling over on the floor and people are tripping and hurting themselves. You have to be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Love yourself. And I say that in many of my videos. Love the person you see in the mirror. See, some of you are crossing the line, that line of, you know, like with humor or a true comedian, they know about staying behind the line. You don't punch below the belt. Then you're not a comedian. Then you're just being a, you know, potty mouth. We all live on this planet and we're hurting. This is a hurting planet. And comic relief is comic relief. But stay behind the line. The soup, the alphabet soup, is getting too lumpy. It's getting too lumpy for me. I used to go to what they call the Village in New York City. I loved the Village. It's one of the safest places that I felt that, you know. It was a place that I would be able to go and not be harassed, not be grabbed. They have a lot of food there. They have really interesting stores. I used to walk down along 8th Street. Well, 8th Street isn't 8th Street anymore. That whole strip uh, closing down. It's been changing slowly for the past 20, what's that, 25 years. Yeah, slow, yeah, even 30. It was a slow change. But I would still go down there now with this pandemic. It's heartbreaking for me to go down there because all the stores that I used to go to, I used to work on 8th Street. Real brief. It was a fun little trendy place, and I would just go to escape there. It was a only one of the few places that I could go to and just escape uh, the racial tension that's in the city. Yeah, it was one of the few places I really felt safe at. And a big part of it was because it catered to a lot of gay guys. So at least certain parts. The other half, like one half, caters to the gay men, and then the other half of the village catered to uh, how do you call it? People who eccentrics, people who wear really um, the spiked hair, the vintage clothing, things like that. Uh, it was a safe place. So someone like me um, could just go down there, get something to eat, do window shopping, and then just go home. It was a great escape. Now this whole thing, um, the whole community down there has changed. You know, the Eighth Street. Um, and yeah, the gay men, they generally don't bother me. I mean, I only have one is one bias incident um, that happened. It was a verbal, and it was the jealous. See, you really could tell. See, when someone doesn't like you for whatever reason, and oh, when they take offense, or they feel that you offended them, that's when it comes out. That's how it works. That down there, I had yeah, I was with someone who was of the alphabet soup community. We were co-workers, and we both like that. We both like costume jewelry. And he took me down to the village after work. I used to work in a hair salon. He was a hairdresser, and he was fun to talk to. He was a white fellow, and some things I didn't like. Uh, yeah, this was going back over 30 years ago, and it's like things would come out. Like um, I'm hedging right now. Little comments about uh, blacks in general, and I'm wondering, where does this person come up with things like that? To just say to somebody that it was very offensive. I'm not even going to say. Uh, it shows his mindset. And back in those days, yeah, black and whites 30 plus years ago, things were really socially segregated. People are taught what they're going to be taught about different races or nationalities in New York City. But one day I had gone there after work to the village to look at jewelry, whatever, and this one street vendor was selling some stuff. I think might have been glasses or some sunglasses. I forget what it was, and I just said that I would prefer it in a different color. I did for that specific item. I didn't think it looked good in black. That I would have preferred it in a different color, something like that. And I wasn't trying to insult his product or him. And he was a white fellow, older guy. Um, he says, "Well, you're black," and oh, I just looked at him. Yeah, things were very like you couldn't. Sorry, about getting low battery, so I better put a battery on. You have to charge it up. So let me get a battery, not a battery, but to plug it back in. Forget where I put my plug. So I have to find, yeah, I have to find the where the plugs are. Yeah, I found that. Plug this in. Sorry about that. I get this plug in. See, back in those days, sorry, holding everything in one hand, yeah. Yeah, back then, 30 plus years ago, racism was very, you couldn't, it would just come out. See, people, the racial climate was very intense, but sneaky. And certain industries, well, I have to turn, I hope I can turn this around. I have to turn, let's see. Oh, it doesn't work. Doesn't work like that. Yeah, the plug, the button, I mean, the thing that you plug it in is on the on the side that it's too short. God, how can I do this? How can I do this? Okay, got the plug in. Sorry, folks. Yeah, so yeah, back in the day, um, people then were very, um, how do you say, it things were the environment for blacks. It was very hostile if you're around certain certain groups, and they're sneaky about it. So even my so-called co-worker, things were hard. So yeah, so oh yeah, the reason why what I'm saying with the yeah the only incident that happened to me was that fellow, because I said that I would prefer something in a different color and not in black, and so he used that my being a black person, using that now I'm not even that dark. I'm a black person, but not black in color. So, but he's using black as a label, as a group, and putting me in that I don't like myself. So you didn't have an opinion. So that incident, um, I mean, it was there, and again, you stay behind the line. So if you're a black person back then, you didn't have an opinion. Keep your opinion to yourself. But yeah, and some of the homeless um, on near 8th Street and 6th Avenue, there I would get harassed. But outside of that, if you didn't, because I had to wait for, I would generally wait for a friend at this particular corner, not that particular coworker, but other person, other friend of mine. And so once you left that spot, things are okay. You're not harassed. But that one spot, if they're gonna come out, that's where that's where they would be. It was right by a bank and the subway, and that's what would happen. You know. But other than that, those experiences, I love the village. It was basically a safe haven for someone like myself coming up. Uh, yeah, because other places I just didn't really feel comfortable. Um, feel like I would be, grabbed, things like that. Yeah, things when you were younger, younger women get harassed, and back then, the the tension was so great, and I think the tension upon black men and young black men in New York City was also I know it was very hard for them, but there weren't places where blacks could really congregate safely, and that sense of safety. And so what happened when I was just starting out, I would be grabbed, or the some of the men would come on to me very strong, and it could be frightening. And they were doing that not because they really wanted to talk to me, but they wanted to show that they were still men. They lived in a society that people would tell them they're not people, they're not human, they're not real men. And so they wanted to assert their manliness. And unfortunately, they would try to assert it with a very shy woman. Isn't that something? So, what's happening now in New York City? Well, you have the rise of the alphabet soup community within the black community. So, it's a polarity now. You're either of the alphabet soup in the black community, or you're a drug dealer type. And it's really sad. Where I live, it's like everything, those two polarities. Very rarely do you see just a regular black guy with his family. You know, I saw at the park, I saw it this twice. I thought it was so beautiful. A black man uh, with their kid in a baby stroller. And I thought it was so beautiful. See, beauty is a choice. And yes, you live in a society that wants to vilify you, but your humanity is what you carry, what lives inside of you. It's not the way you dress. It's what's in your heart. Yes, we all had to live amongst people who were vile, very vile in many attributes towards us. But your humanity, you wear in your heart. And I think ultimately you'd be okay. Yeah, the pendulum swings back and forth. That blade goes back and forth. And people who hurt other people and try to be sneaky, we know when we're not liked. But that pendulum is swinging, and it's swinging down low. And those people who harmed us, they're harming themselves. Yeah, this day and age is no joke. It's no joke. It's no joke. Yeah. So let me move on the next thing. Yeah, I this it's getting too close for comfort. The alphabet soup. It's getting lumpy. So long you stay behind the line. See, I could feel for anybody. But you step over the line when you try to take over those people who are born woman. I am a genetic female. Been through a lot of things in the military because I was a female. Just many aspects to myself. And it's okay to make jokes about black. I mean, some things that black people do, some things that happen in my community can be absolutely funny. But you stay behind the line. You don't cross that line, but with certain humor. Yet sometimes uh, comic relief is just that, to relieve tension. And it's okay to laugh at yourself. Some things I see with myself on camera, I start to. It's funny. I said, boy, if I really knew what I looked like, you know, it's okay to laugh at yourself, especially if it's true. So yeah, we need laughter these days, but you're crossing the line when you're saying that you are me. And Dave Chappelle was just, stating the obvious. He mentioned that the right. I mean, I gotta look this up. if any of you know, the people of the Harry Potter series, that the lady, I forget her name, Roland, something Roland. She's a billionaire. That's with a B as a boy. She is a billionaire from her books. And she said about gender, she stated the obvious. And I think now they're going to stop having her book. Something. They banned her or something. I got to look it up. Those of you who know, you could write in the comment section. But could you believe that? She's probably the most well read, most read author out there amongst the young. She is a billionaire. They have her books in schools. You're gonna get angry at a lady? We can't talk about ourselves. We can't. Hello. Now you cross the line. The movies, like with what's his name, Wesley Snipes, when he did that. I love that movie. Fu Manchu. I liked it. I mean, I saw with my mom. I liked that movie. I didn't take the movie seriously. I just saw it as a fantasy film, bunch of guys clowning around. I didn't realize it was a prelude of social programming for us to accept certain lifestyles. No, it's not even a lifestyle. You could say you could be who you want to be. I mean, you could dress how you want to dress. That's your business. Can't see my clock. You're who you are. But you're crossing the line, people, when we cannot say the truth. An apple is an apple, and a banana is a banana. And for us to say contrary to that, and then get offended, you want us to believe your lie? You're out of bounds. But I think all this is really to draw, uh, to put confusion. I said this before. It's to confuse us. When you confuse someone about their basic identity, whatever what that identity is, that's a problem, and you can't stand very strong. Okay, you're crossing the line. I don't like it. I can hold anybody's hand, basically, emotionally hold their hand, and feel your pain. I know what pain is. So when I see anybody in pain, I feel it, and I want them to feel good. I don't want them to be in pain. The other thing with Gabby, boy, what was I gonna say about that? What God, I forget what I was gonna say. Um, yeah, the autopsy is out. It's very sad. I'm sad for her. I'm very, very sad for her. But I'm confused. I'm asking questions. I don't. Maybe I overanalyze things. That's part of my problem. I overanalyze things. I hope they get the truth. I I I sort of agree. Usually the obvious is usually the case in matters like this. the obvious that he had something to do with it. I've been watching many videos about Gabby, the 22-year-old who was found, she was strangled to death. She had a bright future on social media, she thought, and her life just taken away. How I wish young women do things on it. I get so, I'm in my 50s, and I've seen a lot of young women just hook up with men who are not behind them. He was not behind her fiance was not behind her interest in the social media. And that's what the argument was in the car when the police pulled him over. She was hitting him in the car. And that's why the car almost got in an accident when the police pulled it over. Ladies, why settle for someone who doesn't believe in you or your interests? Like, let's say you want to start a career at something, whatever what that thing is. That person doesn't believe in you. Believe in yourself and find somebody else, or just do it on your own. You cannot make a banana into an apple and an apple into a banana. They are who they are. And I think being on the road with someone, I mean, they lived in his folks' place, but even that should have been an alarm. Why live with a guy who's still living with his parents? Woman, get your own place that you could afford, or you stay at home along with your parents. Don't have your dude, it tells you something that he wasn't man. He was not equipped to live in a role like that. I mean, in this cultural scene, again, there's many different cultures out there, and it would be appropriate in other cultures. The husband and wife live with one of the spouse, the spouse's family. But in this culture here, and that could have been a sign. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to leave, even though they said he proposed to her. It was too much. And maybe it really, him, them going to, visit different places, it, 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 maybe that fact, it was her car. It was her van. And they were living in his parents' house. And he did not believe in her being able to really be successful. I think he was just talking out of his behind. He was insecure. He wasn't confident in himself. And something triggered. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did the dirty deed. Usually the most the obvious is usually true in situations like this. And now he's hiding somewhere. It's awful. Awful the decisions that we make as women. Sometimes we come from families that always have something negative to say about us, our bodies, or our abilities. Yeah, I lived in that type of system, that type of home. I know what it's like. But make the choice for yourself. You say, don't be around people who don't believe in you. Don't be around them. And sometimes it's very good to be alone. And maybe it would have been very appropriate for her to take that stand and go out and travel the world by herself, or someone who's on the same page as her. You cannot make a banana into an apple and an apple into a banana. She may have still been alive. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm sad for her and angry at the same time. And then I'm angry. How is it that the amount of attention this case is getting, I was being bombarded with all these, when YouTube gives suggestion of videos, about one third, no, maybe one quarter of all the videos presented was on that case. They wanted you to choose it. They want you distracted. And then, yet with the, I mean, how it got in the media, how it took off, that I don't know. There are people who are missing with their boyfriends. Things like domestic violence happens all the time, and you don't hear a damn thing about them. That's what's confusing me. Also, when you start to compare things with another, you said, "Well, why is this case? How is it?" And I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not trying to be insensitive. How did this case become so much for YouTube? About a quarter of all the videos, when you what they present to you as options to choose to watch, that, and I wasn't selecting it initially, but it seemed like the longer I didn't select it, the more and more it popped up of choices. I said, they obviously want me to watch this, and I got hooked. I got hooked. But I asked myself, what's really going on in this? Why do they want us to watch this? Every day there's women that are being abused by their spouses or boyfriends. And what about the couple, um, the two women, two lesbians that got murdered? They they worked. At least one of them worked um, like 5 minutes away. Because remember, the boyfriend had to go, the fiance had to go to a motel in that town. It was a hop, skip, and a jump to the restaurant where the I don't know whether both ladies worked there, but at least one of them worked in that restaurant. Oh, or near the campground. But no one is speaking out for them, and it's not being linked. They're not linking it. Hey, you get a triple murder in just a couple of days apart, and there's no like, hey, what's going on in Utah? What was it Utah and what was that, Wyoming or something? Yeah, they started out in Utah. The ladies were the two ladies, the lesbians, and their story is they want to forget it. The FBI has told the father of one of the girls that died, the couple, oh, don't worry about it. It's no longer a threat. How do you know? How do you know? I don't know. I'm very I'm concerned about a lot of these things. Why they show certain things for us to watch. Why they cover certain things and not others, or group them. In fact, there was a guy that also died, but they're going to say that his thing was a suicide. Why are everybody dying or suiciding in that small part of town? I don't know what to think about this. They're playing me foolish. They're playing us foolish. This whole thing. It's very, very sad. These are sad times. And I'm sad for us. I feel different these days. Um, I mean, I've been going out. I go out with my little guys, my little girls and guy, my dogs. I try to stay out as late as possible, but I get back so tired, and when I come back, I start to overeat. Yes. Yeah, I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see out here, but I want to stay out just to get some air, just try to uh, learn how. Sorry for the connection there. Come on. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, the connection. Yeah, but we'll be okay, people. We are okay. We're just being distracted. It's like a tornado. I have to remind myself. This is a tornado that's passing through our town. But when you stay in the eye of the tornado, it's actually calm. But what you see the images of the tornado that is designed to scare us, to confuse us, to make us angry, all these negative emotions. But you're still the same. You are you. Yeah. Try to eat right. Try to eat right. Drink your water. Get some air, sunshine. And know at least that you are okay. We've always been okay, but they want you to feel confused. But no, hey, at any time, you may need to just close that computer. You may have to disconnect like I did for a month, my internet connection. Yeah, it'll be okay, guys. Yes, you have people like Dave Chappelle who can make a funnier situation. And here he spoke on behalf of his friend who was a member of the Alphabet Soup, who defended him. He defended his friend, and I thought it was a beautiful thing. Peace wherever his friend may be, And yeah, Dave said that he's raising up money or something with money that when the because he has a daughter, his transgender the man who transgendered into a woman, he had a daughter, a very young girl, and Dave is going to save money for her, and when she reaches 21, that he wants to talk to her and and give her the money. Yeah, peace and love to him where he is. Yeah, I may not be into certain lifestyles, but someone who's paying that much to jump off a roof, yet he has a young child, it's quite sad. Thank you, humanity, though. Thank you, universe. The beauty that you do have. I choose to look at your beauty, and may all our pain disappear. I thank you again. Yes, I'll be signing off. Peace, love, and joy to you all who watch this live stream. Love yourself. Love the person you see in the mirror. If everything else fails, do that. And I'm going to do that too. Bye bye.